Hello, in this section I want to explain to you briefly about the production module in ERP system. The core of each production module is bill of material. Bill of material is where in which you define the material which is necessary to create a finished good or intermediate products. It defines the raw material which is required to produce either finished goods or raw material. After we define this bill of material, then we will define the shift. In shift, we defined the calendars. The calendars is defined for each shift, define the normal working hours for that shift. For example, when we have normal working hours, it can be 9 to 6 as we planned. And if we want to have other shifts, for example night shift, we can then define it. We can also specify the holiday into this portion. After we have defined the shifts, then it's time to define the process. The process in which you do in a stage of production. For example, in production of a chair, the process of producing the legs can be defined as process. And when we assemble legs into seat, then it could be another process. This process can be done in different work centers. For work center, we have to define the capacity. We have to know in each work center how many items we can produce. For that, we have to specify for production of each item how long it would last. There are other factors that has to be defined in each work center. For example, when you are producing a chair, you have to define the time which requires to set up this work center for producing a leg. There is also a time when you don't want this work center and you want to produce another items. So we can say it as a tear down formula. And it can then be used, these values, to give us proper planning. After we have set up our work center, then we can have the capacity for each work center, and we can say this work center can produce how much items. After we defining work center, then we can line it up from the first raw material entered in the production line till we receive the finished product. The net module has the ability to give us plan time, which we give our plans to repair items and do maintenance. This time also has to be excluded from the planning module so that we can have more accurate finishing times. And once all done in a system, the unexpected can happen. There are times when a part of machinery doesn't work, or a personnel which is responsible in a work center to operate with this machinery isn't available, or we have power failure, or many items which is unplanned or unexpected. Then we have to provide for these items the flexibility to work with. So the system has to have the form or reports that inform us and help us to apply this unexpected. And once we have done the production, it is time to analyze how good we have done. In this procedure, we rely on variance report. The variance report is nothing but the items which comes from bill of materials and the items which comes from the actual things which has happened in production line. And once we have done the variance report, then we can have better estimate and then update our bill of material for further improvement and to enable us better estimation for future production, and we can have proper finish times reporting to our management and our customer. Thank you for listening to this.